Hello. Welcome to episode 3 of Coffee Break. We have Diana Osborne, who will be joining us today live. She is a holistic hairstylist out of Toronto, and we're really excited to have her here today with us talking about hair brushing. So I'm just going to wait for her to come on and we'll get started. There she is.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, doing pretty well, thank you.
You're so glam this
Well,
morning.
I figure these lives give me a reason to, put some lipstick on and get a little
Yes,
fancy. Why not?
I love it.
Yes. How are you holding up there in your lockdown?
Yeah, still here.
I know.
Honestly, pretty good. Pretty
Mm,
good. It's been definitely a roller coaster, but
yeah.
I switched my mindset in the beginning of January to back into myself, away from all of the stress and, frustration of the whole situation. And it's wonderful because there was so much energy going elsewhere and now it's for me. And so I'm just being grateful for what we have and focusing on the other ways that I can connect with people. So this is so fun.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's so
Yeah.
great to hear you say that. I mean, I think it would be pretty easy right now to kind of get really down. And so
Yeah.
I love where you're at. That sounds so amazing.
Thank you.
So I just want to, I gave you a little introduction, and I just would love for you to let the people know who you are, and how long you've been a holistic hairstylist.
Yeah, so my name is Diana Osborne, and I'm a holistic hairstylist and the founder of Hair Holistic Studio, which is a Toronto-based full-service holistic hair salon. So I've been a hairstylist for about 15 years now, and started kind of dabbling in green beauty in about 2014, and then switched completely to what I would consider is being a holistic hairstylist 4 years ago almost, when I started my business. So that came about after basically a complete health crisis. I had two different issues. I had multiple surgeries for lymph nodes, and then 3 months later, my body was just falling apart. My hair was falling out. I had massive fatigue. And then I caught the flu and had 3 asthma attacks in 24 hours.
Wow.
Um, and my medication almost stopped working.
Oh
So
my
it was a really huge turning point for me. And then, of
God.
course, I was on steroids for my lungs
Mhm.
and went back into the salon. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't be around the aerosols, the ammonia. I was having to take my inhaler every single day. I was having
Mhm.
panic attacks that
Mhm.
my throat would close again.
Yeah.
And so I started my business because
Yay.
I didn't want to leave the industry. And I figured, you know what? Let's give it a last ditch effort. Let me
Mhm.
see if I can do this. I
Yes.
know there's a better way.
Mhm.
And it has been the most incredible silver lining since then.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And I
Yeah.
feel like I didn't have health issues leading into opening my space, but sort of the same idea of the thought process, there has to be something better than this. I love hairstyling. I love the culture. I love the people. I love making people feel great. It's my art and I enjoy every minute of it.
Yes.
But why does it have to be so toxic,
Right?
for us and also the planet? So I
Exactly.
feel you 100%.
Yeah.
And
I love
then
it.
on that note, with sustainability in the beauty industry, what are your thoughts? Why do you feel like is so important?
Gosh. So I was raised like my mom did composting. We went to the recycling depot. We had like a food co-op because you couldn't get organic food at the grocery store when I was young. So I grew up with all of these things. And I just think that, with with the planet that we have, we're using resources faster than the earth makes them,
Yes.
and we're polluting it and we're destroying the planet. And so I just feel like it should be so easy to incorporate all of these practices into our lives to help the planet, to help people, and to do the craft that we love, right? The beauty industry, there's so much chemical pollution that goes down the sink with the colors that we use. And there's so much plastic in the bottles that we sell of shampoo and all these things. And so we do have a responsibility to ensure that we're actually being more ethical and conscious in the ways that we're working. And the thing that I love is that it can be actually good for business. You know, like it doesn't have to be this big, like hard thing that we do. If it's just incorporated into the way things run, then it's actually so easy. And it makes me feel good about what I'm doing because I know that I'm helping people and I'm also helping the planet.
Yeah, I love all of that. Yeah, I would agree with everything you just said. It is so important that we, at the very least, pick one thing, you know, start with one thing, figure out how you can really incorporate that into your daily life consistently, and then add something else. You know, it doesn't have to be this big, overwhelming monster of, you know, fear-based. I think a lot of time people think it's too big and that it can't be done because it's too much. But I would say no. I'd say pick one thing,
right?
And let that be your focus, and then, you know, choose something else. And it can be one step at a time. And we can do this. I believe we can.
We totally can.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think there's so many great companies now that are helping support our industry. Green Circle Salons is one of them.
Absolutely.
And I also like to, the world has changed in the last year, of course. And a lot of companies are starting to do more refills, things like that. I mean, it's so interesting. There was a bottle shortage. I don't know if you experienced that with our suppliers. They were having trouble. They had product like shampoo to fill bottles, but everyone was buying bottles for hand sanitizer. So they couldn't get their containers. We experienced that with two of our companies. And so it's forced a lot of those companies into thinking creatively, making refill available, which is incredible. And it didn't come from, you know, perhaps they were thinking about sustainability, but this really forced them into doing that.
Yes.
And then for us, we started a refill program where people can bring in their containers and we can refill their shampoo and conditioner for specific products. That's obviously paused right now. But the cool thing about that is that I'm a numbers gal. And so I love my spreadsheets. I love figuring out like cost per gram and all those things. The coolest thing was that it was more accessible for people because it was cheaper, right? Because it's discounted if it's a refill. It was good for the environment because they weren't buying, I mean, that saves like so many bottles of shampoo. And it was actually more profitable for my business. The profit margins were better. So that was another big point for me where I was like, oh my gosh, it's all good. It's win-win-win. Like there's no reason not to do it, right?
No reason at all. Yeah. We had a slogan that was reduce, recycle, refill, or reuse, refill. So, you know, it was the kind of added in on the end to help people, encourage people to come in and get refills. It's such an awesome thing to do.
It's amazing.
So we're going to talk about hair brushing. We're going to get there. But I would love, I think that the scalp gets so overlooked. You know, people, even in even general advertising around hair and hair health, never ever is there mention really of the scalp at all. And it is still skin. It's still part of our largest organ. So I want to hear your thoughts about that and why you feel we should be more aware of our scalps.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed with scalp care. And I think that part of the reason it's been overlooked is that the way that we approach it, it actually simplifies your hair care routine and you actually need less products. And in the beauty industry, they don't like that, right? Because then we're not purchasing as much. And so that's the only reason I can think about it. And I think we've moved from really focusing on aesthetic of something into focusing on the health of something, which is a really wonderful trend that I am on board with.
Yes.
And so, yes, our scalp is skin. And it's interesting that, you know, we have 5-step skincare routines at night. And then we expect our scalp and our hair to just be perfect with like, we're going to shampoo condition you like every 5 days and you should be fine. Right? Which is not the case. And your scalp is a part of your body, right? And so if we're looking at the health of the whole body, your scalp is important. And it's also the place where your hair grows from.
Right.
Hair is dead, as we know, as soon as it leaves your scalp. And so if you can ensure the root of where it's growing from is healthy, then it's going to help support having beautiful hair, which generally for me means that you don't need as many products and you don't need like these kind of gimmicky things. You're just supporting your body in what it does best.
I love that. That's
yeah.
So true. Yeah. I think that, so just sort of, you know, side note from that, how is hair brushing beneficial then to the scalp? Actually, it's not about tangles. It's not about you know, making your hair smooth and shiny. I mean, it is. It's helpful for that reason. But
yes,
there's like hair brushing and scalp health are like this.
They totally are.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic because product that you may already have at home, you might have a hairbrush, or it's one product that you purchase and you can keep it for a long time. It's not something like a serum or a product that will run out. It's something that is so easy and accessible for everyone to do. So when I talk about the benefits of brushing, I usually talk about stimulation and circulation first. So using a good brush will basically help to bring blood flow to your scalp, which is really important. And that brings nourishment and nutrients and food basically to your hair to grow really beautiful hair, right? And so if the hair is getting proper nourishment, it's going to grow optimally. And it's also going to be built optimally. Right? Like hair is so much made up of protein. And if your body isn't getting enough protein, or if your scalp isn't getting enough blood flow and protein, then it's going to actually create weaker hair, which a lot of people don't think about, right? Like the hair down here is a year old. What is that, 6 inches?
Yeah.
And so whatever was happening a year ago is now here. And so I've actually noticed after stress, after illness, the texture of my hair will change. And right now, my hair is actually less curly than it would be normally. And I think that's from the stress of the last year. And so if I can give my hair as much as possible, then it's going to be as strong as possible and perform better and be shinier and be more easy to deal with, right?
Yeah.
And then aside from that, exfoliation is wonderful, especially right now. People are dealing a lot with dry scalp, which I know a lot of people think is dandruff, which is a little bit of a different thing, but those flakes are just dryness, similar to how, you know, our skin gets dry in the winter. Things are a little bit more harsh. We're inside, especially right now. And so just making sure that you're exfoliating your scalp and so that it can breathe, and again, creating that optimal environment is amazing. And the third thing I think is wonderful is that it brings about more of an awareness of your own body, right? Like we, I mean, we do breast exams, right? Like we're making sure that we're healthy and when something changes on your body, then you're aware of it. But a lot of people don't know what's happening on their scalps. And as a hairstylist, we've run into that where people have, you know, spots of hair loss, or there's kind of a bump. And so I think it's really beautiful when you create a ritual that you are tending to your body. It reduces stress, you know your body more, and it's something that is for you. It's time for you, and it doesn't take very long, and it's not very expensive. And we need to pamper ourselves.
I agree. And I think too, like the no hair washing trend, which is so great. I feel like we were for sure over shampooing our hair.
Yeah.
For definitely. But I think something that's gone kind of hand in hand with that is that people have also stopped brushing their hair.
Yes.
Like I think so they're not shampooing and then they've stopped brushing, which I I think it's just, I don't know if it's just you keep like wrapping that bun up day after
Right.
day and you don't really think about it, or what it is. But I would say, yes, let's bring back hairbrushing. Bring
Right?
back that 100 strokes
Yeah.
a day. You know, I think that there's like, you have just been a wealth of knowledge on all of that. I think that I hope you all have learned something.
Yes.
Because it is super important, and I do think it is. You know, we were taught to brush our hair when we were kids. It was mostly about tangles, but adding in that piece about scalp health, hopefully it will help you look a little differently about what brushing really is, and it is self-care. I love that you said that.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
it's so interesting that we moved away from brushing, and I don't know
Yeah.
why that was.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
And I
Because
just like, I felt like it did go. Do you feel like it went hand in hand with the no shampoo sort of thing? Like I
I
feel
do,
like
which
it
is
all kind of happened.
which is
Yeah.
weird because I actually think that they go together really well.
Yes, you want to move those oils around. You want to be
Right.
Mm,
And even
yeah.
with dry shampoo, like brushing
Yes,
is perfect to blend your dry shampoo in. I don't know.
absolutely. Yeah,
It's coming back. We're bringing it back.
we're bringing it back.
100 strokes a day.
Let's make it happen. We'll start a YouTube channel.
I love it.
And so if someone is going to go out and buy a new brush because they're feeling super inspired by this chat, what are your top tips for picking a hairbrush?
Yeah, so that's going to partly depend on personal choices, especially if you are vegan or non-vegan. And it's also going to depend on hair type. So the brush that is my absolute favorite brush, I have it here. I have one at home, one in my bag, and one at the salon. I think it is everywhere I go.
Amazing.
So this one is wood and nylon and boar bristle. So this is my first choice for most people. There's so many benefits to having both the nylon and the boar bristle. So the boar bristle is going to be a softer exfoliation, and it's also going to have a little bit more tension. Like when you pull down, it's going to catch the hair a little bit more, which helps to smooth out the cuticle, which creates more shine. Right? And then the nylon is going to be a little bit of like a deeper exfoliant. And so it's really going to kind of brush and slough off things at your scalp. So that is my favorite. For vegans out there, then you can get just like a normal nylon pin. You're not going to get quite the same amount of benefits, I'm going to say, but I really don't want that to be a deterrent because any brushing is going to be good. There's no real downside to it. You just don't have the boar bristles in it, which it'll detangle more and it'll exfoliate more, but you may not get as much smoothing. And then there's also a third kind. I actually forgot. I meant to bring it home from the salon, but there is the scalp massager brush, which everyone is seeing now. There's like ads from every company everywhere. And so I think it's a great option. The two that I've shown are really good for hair that I would say is straight to medium curly. You can use these brushes on quite curly hair. You just use them in a different way. And so I always like to recommend if you have really curly hair that like you don't want to brush out, right? You can actually kind of divide your hair and just like do little circles. So you're not pulling it through, but you're still stimulating your scalp and exfoliating the scalp. So this will work on a lot of them. But for super tight curlies or that aren't comfortable with a brush, the scalp massager brush is the little handheld like silicone piece that you can use in the shower with shampoo and like basically just, again, get in at your root, which won't give you as much exfoliation, but it will still stimulate the scalp. And we've also heard people that are more prone to oiliness are finding that it's really, really great. So between those, it depends on, I feel like, what works for you, you know, in choosing the right brush. But I really think that almost any brush will give you great benefits.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. And then, so we're talking about hair brushing. We're talking about stimulating the scalp. Is there any other rituals, let's use that word, that you would recommend to people for scalp health, either on a daily, weekly, or monthly routine? Is there anything else you can, any other things you can tell us for ultimate scalp help.
Yeah.
Health.
So I know it's a little bit boring for some people, but I actually think the best thing you can do is just use a good quality shampoo and conditioner.
Nice.
I mean, there's a lot of different products, you know, there's scalp scrubs, which can be really nice. There's different oil treatments that you can do.
Yeah.
But I really think that the foundation of a healthy scalp and healthy hair is having good quality professional products that actually will nourish the hair. And unless you have that, then you may just be kind of working against or like correcting problems, and then you're spending more money. You have a you know, a more complex approach to it, and it's not actually addressing the root problem. So really, when I'm talking about scalp health, the first thing that I talk about is shampoo and conditioner. The second thing is brushing. And then from there, I feel like then you really get a sense of what the hair needs, because those may solve, honestly, 90% of the problems, right? And so it doesn't sell a lot of products for us, but that's not the point, right? That's not, that's not why we're hairstylists. Yeah. And so I think those are the foundations. Aside from that, I think if someone wants to go further, I love a scalp scrub. I think it's a beautiful, it feels fantastic. Your scalp feels fresh afterwards. That can be done. I would say between a week, every week to every month. Once a week may be too much for a lot of people. But it's
especially
really,
if you've been ignoring your scalp, right?
Oh my gosh.
Attack it and then have a reaction, right?
We need to ease into it. And so, if someone's more sensitive, I love doing quality oil treatments. So like food grade oils, we obviously don't want to do them close to a color service because it can impact that. But something really soothing on the scalp. One of my favorite things to do after I had my surgeries and lost a lot of hair, that was really when I started to focus on the health of my scalp. And so I would brush my hair like all different directions. I would flip my head over, brush everything. Then I would use coconut oil and castor oil and massage it into my scalp, let it sit for 30 minutes, and then do 2 shampoos and a conditioner. And it became this really beautiful ritual that I would do at night. And so I think that can be really lovely as well if someone wants an extra treat. And the great thing is that you don't have to do this. Like, you don't have to be like, okay, I have to commit to once a month or once a week. Anytime you are doing this, anytime you're brushing your hair, anytime you're treating your scalp, you're going to have the benefits, right?
Yes.
And so it doesn't have to be scary and complex.
No. And if you don't do any other treatment other than you start brushing your hair more, you're already on your way, right?
Seriously. It's incredible. I was actually noticing I have little hairs coming in, which it's because I've been brushing my hair a little bit more. And it's so cool.
New growth.
Yeah.
So if you are struggling with fine hair and maybe some, hair loss that you can't explain, maybe try brushing.
Honestly,
right?
It's incredible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You are a wealth of knowledge. I am so grateful that you joined us here today. I hope that everybody learned a little something, and I hope you get back to work soon.
Me too. No. I've been playing with mannequin hair, and it's not the same. I want to see people. I want to
I know.
Oh, I just want to make a difference.
Yeah, and you are. You are.
Thank you.
You are. Yes. So if you don't already follow the holistic hair expert, follow her. She's a wealth of knowledge.
Say hi.
Not be disappointed. And we'll say bye, I think.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's honestly so great to see you and to connect. I know we see each other like every couple of years, it feels like.
Yeah. A hair class here and there. We seem to cross paths, which is so great.
It's so great. It's always lovely to see you.
No, thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.